Yo guys, welcome back to the channel, Delirious Sanity here again, of course, as usual. And today we are asking the question, why is Mob of the Dead not in Zombies Chronicles? And truly, there's a good reason, even if you guys may not be open-minded enough to see it. Although I hope you are, let's get right into it. Now, the reason that I thought this was such an important topic, even though I've seen a few other YouTubers do it, Mob of the Dead was by far my favorite all times zombies map. It was a very, very good map. A lot of people would agree with me there. So we're going to start off by seeing what Jason Blundell has to say in JC Backfire's video, and then I will give my commentary on that. Anyway, let's go.
So, I mean, I'll take Mob of the Dead separately, but it was very hard to pick, and I was looking for, knowing that the timeline was coming out and knowing what we were trying to do, I was trying to pick the set which I felt gave the best foundation, combination of, had narrative purpose and fun gameplay. But yeah, Mob, I can't say too much, but what I would say is, I'm sure there's another purpose for that at some point. Okay. Yeah. All right. So I didn't feel it thematically fit in the pack, and yeah, who knows? Who knows?
So, now that we've gotten that out of the way, that cryptic ass way of saying that we're going to be seeing Mob of the Dead later, I wanted to touch on when we might be seeing Mob of the Dead, if or when I guess we might. And just before I start, I would like to say thank you for JC Backfire. You know, he went to Activision early, he got that video clip, he asked Jason Blundell. I'd never been able to do that by myself, unfortunately. And thank you for Johnny J25 because I got this that little clip at least off of his YouTube channel because he kind of put together a bunch of the clips from JC Backfire's YouTube. So if you want to, go ahead and go check them out. But anyway, and also one more thing I wanted to say real quick. This is pure speculation, pure theory. I mean, I have been in it since World at War. I've been paying attention to the storyline. Most of the things I have kind of thought to come did end up coming, but you never know. We're all imperfect. Anyway, so Mob of the Dead. This is what I think, at least for me. So let's start off with Black Ops 3 and the Zombie Chronicles in general. Jason Blundell said before that Black Ops 3 is supposed to end our 4 main characters' storyline as we know it. When we got to the end of Revelations, I was like, what? Wait. Oh my god, this is the end? Are you kidding me? It's the same as Origins and Mob of the Dead, however opposite. And the fact of the matter is, this is supposed to be the end of our, Richtofen, Dempsey, Nikolai, and Takeo. So, you might be thinking, what's Treyarch going to do for its next game? Now, I've known this for a while. I mean, I'm sure we can be safe to assume that the next game isn't going to be starring our original cast and crew. We're going to be having maps sort of like Call of the Dead, Mob of the Dead, Shangri-La, the maps that had 4 random characters in it. They do have a very in-depth storyline if you want to pay attention to it, but they don't have our 4 original characters. So I'd imagine the next Treyarch Zombies Call of Duty game, whatever, next year is going to have 4 new characters for us. And the DLC, I'm sure each little map will either have 4 different characters, or it'll be kind of like not Mob of the Dead. It'll be kind of like Black Ops 2, where, the transit crew starred in a few of them, and they didn't in others, but for the most part, it was the same crew. I'm not exactly sure what they're going to do along those lines, but what I think at least will happen with Mob of the Dead, if Black Ops 3 per se is for our main 4 characters, and we ended up getting the Giant and Zombies Chronicles, basically DLC packs that not necessarily a part of the season's pass or the main DLC 1 through 4, but it is a part of the story that he wanted to explain to us, and that's why he gave us those maps, and all of them except Shadows of Evil and Shangri-La have our four main characters, and we really get in depth with those storylines. So I'd imagine going into the next one, they might, maybe not, I don't know, don't sue me, they might remaster some of the older maps that had the four main characters missing, maybe like Call of the Dead, Mob of the Dead, a few others. Transit if you guys really want it. No. Anyway, just they may or may not remaster some of those maps, and knowing that Mob of the Dead, other than Origins, is pretty much the best map that ever existed in zombies history, as far as the community goes, it'd be smart to do that map because let's just face it, we all thought it was going to be a part of DLC5 up until like a day or two or a week before DLC5 was actually released, and data miners found that, what the actual 8 maps were, and unfortunately, they did not fit within, Mob of the Dead did not fit within that thematic area. Now, he does say in the video, he talks a lot about theme and where the maps fit. And for Zombies Chronicles, I have to say those 8 maps, in my opinion, not including Shangri-La, so 7 of those maps are the perfect maps to pick. Our 4 main characters are there. Some of them they weren't in the originals, but they were in the Black Ops 1 versions. So all in all, thematically, all of those maps make sense. Going into the next Call of Duty, that is Treyarch related, if we're going to be having 4 random characters, what usually happens in these maps like Call of the Dead, Shangri-La, Mob of the Dead, is they basically find out that they're in an infinite loop that just keeps going over and over and over again. Now, oftentimes, like Shadows of Evil and Mob of the Dead, you find that they are for different reasons. The reasons may be similar, but they are completely different, and the storyline itself is deriving off of some other passion that we've yet to see in the later maps, but some interesting stuff has happened in those maps where they do not star our 4 main characters, and that is what is kind of cool, is because when they do go off the beaten path of our 4 main characters, we're able to explore stuff that we've never ever seen before, like Mob of the Dead. And that makes for some really good maps and really creative, nostalgic stuff. So, my opinion, we'll be seeing Mob of the Dead in the next Treyarch Zombies, Call of Duty, whatever you want to call it. The reason that I've kind of backed up why I think that, but another kind of glimpse at what we may be able to see in the future. Now, this is even more far-fetched than what I had originally said, where it's just going to be Mob of the Dead and remastered. Now, in the zombie storyline, we've now unveiled the fact that there is an underground bunker under Mob of the Dead where Richtofen built it, and he worked there many times during the zombie storyline, including bringing Victus there. So if we end up seeing the transit crew again, Victus, I would not be surprised if that were also in the next Call of Duty. Now, I know a lot of you guys hated transit, but I feel like with the zombie storyline and the comics, they've given that crew, Victus, such meaning. It's far beyond transit itself. That map may not have been the greatest, but that crew is very important to the zombies universe. So, what I think could very well happen, Jason Blundell also said in another interview with JC Backfire, I'm sorry I didn't get this, but in a short clip, he basically said that originally they had built the entire Mob of the Dead. Not Mob of the Dead, sorry, the entire Alcatraz. They went to San Francisco, went to the Alcatraz Island, photographed and recorded everything, everything from all the trees outside of it to every single prison cell inside of it, and where everything is, all that stuff. They built the entire map. But then he said when the game or the DLC itself got into beta version, which is what he said is a version of the game where you have to make hard decisions. They basically cut out 2/3 of that map. They cut out one side and the other side, and then basically we have sort of the middle where we got to play. So, given the zombie storyline and given that information from Jason Blundell, they've already built a bigger Mob of the Dead. And I feel like if they, I mean, I feel like a lot of people just want the remastered one, but I dig it for the storyline. I dig it for the gameplay. If they can make something better than Mob of the Dead, I'm open to that. And what I think would be a smooth move by Treyarch is if either A, they remaster it and they make some sort of teleporter and a different Easter egg so that you can go underground, and maybe a part of the Easter egg is finding the Victus crew on ice, waiting till their next mission. That was in the zombie storyline. And, maybe, possibly, they'll just give us the entire Alcatraz island that they had already built and they probably have saved on some disk drive somewhere. I'm interested to see what they can do with Mob of the Dead. I feel like, just as Jason Blundell said, back in the day on PS3 and Xbox 360, the consoles didn't have the power for the capabilities of what they wanted to make the maps. They didn't get all of their desires out of what, they did. And that's why I feel like with these next gen consoles, they have the power to do what they want with what, however they feel. And so I feel that is a perfect opportunity to either add the underground bunker or add the full Alcatraz island. And I would be completely open to that. I mean, we can always go back and just play Mob of the Dead how it used to be, but I would be interested to see another storyline. You know, at least for me, I've been playing since World at War, as I said before. I played Black Ops 1, I bought all of the DLCs for that, and so I've already played the World at War maps a second time, and then bringing them back again in DLC5. I mean, they look absolutely gorgeous, but the fact that they brought them back again and they're pretty much, besides the Gobblegums and the Wonder Fizz, they're pretty much, the same as they used to be. Some people are probably really happy about that. I myself am a bit disappointed because I've always been a huge Easter egg fanatic and I love new Easter eggs, new storyline. Like that's what has really driven me in the zombies community, at least for myself. I love that storyline. So I don't know which direction they're going to go. I feel like the community's a bit split right now with what they want. Some people want the original classics exactly how they are. No Gobblegums, no Wonder Fizz, nothing but what they used to be. And some people want the old maps with the new Easter egg, and they want Gobblegums and they want Wonder Fizz and all that stuff and the fun stuff and Pack-a-Punch and all that. And there are valid arguments for both sides, but personally, I think it would be a good opportunity for Treyarch to put Mob of the Dead in the next Zombies game. Not necessarily remastered, but remade. But who knows what's going to happen. Anyway, guys, I appreciate you watching. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.